Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new. I'm Kayla Carpenter and I'm a nutrition and life coach. So on today's video I wanted to talk to you guys about 4 important shifts in your beliefs that you need to be able to create in order to find food freedom. So to really start feeling at peace around food and overcome things like restrictive dieting and emotional eating. So to feel at peace around food, there are a lot of shifts that we need to be able to create in our mindsets, in the way we're viewing food and ourselves. So this can obviously feel quite overwhelming or feel like a lot of things to kind of be able to shift to be able to get to that place. It may feel daunting to you. So in today's video, I just really wanted to break down 4 of the really important shifts in your beliefs that you need to be able to create to get to that place. So yeah, that's basically why I wanted to make this video, and we'll hop straight into it. So the first belief that we need to shift is the belief that food is good versus bad. So when we've been stuck in dieting and just in general having not a healthy relationship with food, we can really struggle to see that food is really neither good nor bad, but we see that we're putting certain foods on a pedestal. We're saying that this sugary, highly processed food is bad and this whole food is good. So when we have this mindset towards things, we're really looking at as though this is good, this is bad. It really both increases our cravings for those foods that we're calling bad, and also makes us feel bad for eating those foods and really feelings such as guilt and shame and things like that, which are not helpful when it comes to healing our relationship with food and ourselves. So what we need to be able to do is to shift towards seeing these foods as neither good or bad, because food isn't good or bad, it just has different nutritional value compared to other food. Seeing it as the facts rather than these sort of beliefs that we've kind of learned over time, and that things like the dieting industry has taught us. Instead of thinking about it as good or bad like that, it's important to be able to shift towards seeing these foods as either being more nourishing towards our bodies or less nourishing towards our bodies. So when we are able to do this, we shift away from the focus on restricting and dieting, and we focus towards taking care of our bodies and nourishing our bodies. So this is a huge shift in itself, but this good versus bad is just one little component of it, which is something that I see a lot, and most people that have been dieting for a long time do have this view on food, and it's important to start breaking this view, these thoughts and beliefs around food down, and really getting to the nitty-gritty and seeing what is true versus what is not true, because otherwise we'll find ourselves stuck in that all or nothing mindset towards certain foods. And another point to make around seeing it as good versus bad, which I kind of mentioned at the start, is around the cravings piece. So if we're telling ourselves that, say, this highly processed sugary food is bad for us, and we're restricting it, we're not allowing ourselves to have it, when we do have that food, we're going to be a lot more likely to overeat and feel like we're out of control when it comes to that food. And this just feeds into cycles of feeling ashamed and guilty because we've called this food bad. So by eating it, we what does that make us? It makes us bad as well. And we just start really staying stuck in those cycles where it's like that, compared to if we didn't view that food as that and we were focusing on just taking care of our bodies and nourishing our bodies, seeing that food as a food, but it's not a food that we're worried about. It's a food that's there, we can eat it, it's no big deal if we do eat it. It's not something we're not allowed to have. It is a lot more, obviously, a lot more of a healthy way of seeing it, and a way that we're able to see it and not feel so all or nothing towards it. So that is the first belief that needs to be kind of worked through to be able to feel more at peace around food and find that food freedom. Another belief that is important to be able to shift towards is the belief in your ability to heal your relationship with food and have a healthy relationship with food. So it's important to be at least willing to believe that you can have a healthy relationship with food. So when I say a healthy relationship with food, I mean a relationship where food can feel easy. You can feel at peace around food. It doesn't have to be a struggle. You need to at least be willing to believe that is possible for you. because if you're coming from a place of not believing it's possible for you, you will be a lot less likely to try things that feel different and scary because you haven't done them before. And it's important to realize that to be able to heal our relationships with food, it is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be a bit scary because you've never done these things before and you're trying things differently than you have in the past. And that is okay, that is part of it, but you need to be willing to believe that having a healthy relationship with food is possible for you in the first place. Otherwise, you're probably not going to push through those feelings of discomfort to get there. So that is the second belief that needs to be shifted. Another belief that you really need to start having, or be same as before, willing to believe at least, is that you deserve to have a healthy relationship with food. It's quite similar to the previous belief, but it's important that you at least believe that you deserve to have a healthy relationship with food. Because like the previous one, if you don't believe you deserve that, then you're not going to put in the action steps to start healing your relationship with food because you don't believe you deserve it. So this is a really important one to at least be willing to believe, by saying that you're willing to believe that it's possible, that you deserve it. By adding the willing into there, it can make it more believable, and it's important that we're not saying things that we just don't believe and it just doesn't feel authentic to us. So by adding in the willing part, it can make it more believable and make it feel more real and doable for you. So it's important to add this in if you don't fully believe those things just yet. So reminding yourself, or being able to say, I'm willing to believe that I do deserve to have a healthy relationship with food, is something that is really important. A lot of people that I've worked with have come in not believing that they do deserve that, and it is a core thing to not believe that we deserve. If we don't believe that we deserve something, we're not going to truly put our all into it, because we have this little voice at the back of our head telling us, no, you don't deserve this, or every time we do something, doubting us and just putting these things in our heads that we don't want to be believing, but we do believe and we do think, because we just don't believe that we deserve these things. So it's important to address this. If we are feeling like we are not worthy, we do not deserve it, it's important to start by questioning why we feel like we don't deserve it, and getting really curious about why we are in this place that we're in, why we feel like we don't deserve it. And from here, we're able to start really questioning those things and whether they are true, or whether it's just our mind kind of holding us back and not allowing us to get to the place we want to be. So yeah, that's my advice for this one, is just to get curious about why you may believe you don't deserve it and start questioning those thoughts around that. Fourth belief that's important to shift towards, which I kind of did mention in the first one. I guess the first one was more of a wee snippet from one of the beliefs that kind of come into this belief. There's so many beliefs we hold about certain things, so this is probably only touching the surface in terms of the beliefs we need to work through. But I hope you find this really helpful and just picking up on some of the ones that are probably holding you back quite a lot. So this one is the belief, just shifting towards the belief that you want to nourish your body and take care of your body. Just focusing on this as your main goal, rather than focusing on finding the perfect diet or trying to look a certain way or be able to eat a certain way. Just really focusing away from that and towards nourishing your body. So when we focus on nourishing our body, we aren't seeing our diet as so black and white either, because we see the value in having these whole food delicious meals that are nourishing our bodies, and instead of, if we find ourselves eating something that is less nutritious, we don't feel so all or nothing about it, because we can remind ourselves that's okay. We can nourish our bodies more at the next meal, or we can have some more nourishing foods with that food, and that's okay. Our body doesn't mind. Like, it would prefer us to focus on that nourishment piece, because we're going to get more nourishing foods in by focusing on that. So just really coming to a place where we're ready to let go of the idea of a perfect diet, and instead of focusing on the nourishing of our body and taking care of it as our main goal, can be super empowering and super powerful, and is really a core thing that we need to be able to shift towards if we want to really ever feel at peace around food and feel like we have food freedom, and we're able to enjoy the less nutritious foods and be okay with eating those foods, but also know that we want to take care of our bodies and nourish our bodies. So as a natural follow-on, that does become the majority of our diet when we are able to create that shift in focus. So that is 4 of the most important belief shifts that I wanted to share with you guys today. So obviously, like I said, there's a lot more than just 4, and it's going to look different for everyone. There'll be different thoughts and beliefs that are holding you back, and it's important to address those things for yourself, as well as going through these certain ones, which a lot of my clients and people I've come across have struggled with, and that's why I wanted to kind of compile these ones for you guys, just show you some of the beliefs that maybe not so helpful and the beliefs that are helpful, which you could start shifting towards, and just helping you realize and giving you some good examples of what some of the beliefs may be that are holding you back. So I highly recommend you really have a think about what things could be holding you back in terms of your beliefs, because like I said, there'll be more than the ones that we've mentioned today. And if you have questions about any of this, do leave a comment below. I'm more than happy to answer them, and it also gives me a good idea on content ideas to make for you guys that can be really helpful for you in overcoming your struggles when it comes to food. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I really enjoyed talking about it, and I upload videos every week, so if you enjoy this, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.